Hello, hello! It's time for another edition of Fab Friday for this week. So I'm going to be playing a little bit with some stamps and some fun cork and sequins and one of these gorgeous, gorgeous doilies from the Spiegelmom scrap shop. And initially I was not going to get out my sprays, but I do end up getting out some of my Shimmers products as well. So I'm just showing you here what I'm working with. Besides the stuff from the shop, I'm going to be using up the last little bits of my Felicity Jane Sophie kit. And I'm going to start with this sticker that I'm going to go ahead and place onto a piece of white cardstock to give it a little bit more dimension, to give it a little bit more thickness. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and kind of trim around it, and then I'm going to punch all these lovely holes all over it, and I'm going to stitch around, I'm going to hand stitch around the entire word. I love how this turned out. It added some texture and just some really nice, fun detail to this layout. So as you can see, as is my normal hand stitching technique, I grab way more thread than any person has a right to try to stitch with, because I don't like to change my thread, and I don't like to run out, and I just want to be able to smoothly do a whole project. It's just me, have OCD or something. And then I'm going to go ahead and just fussy cut all the way around this little word, and it's going to create a really nice textural fun embellishment onto my layout. So now I have that completely done, and I'm now going to go ahead and I have taken all of my blues and all of my aqua colors out of Distress Inks. So there are so many here. If it's blue or aqua and it's a Distress Ink, I own it, and I probably put it on this layout. So kind of my plan here was that the Felicity Jane kit had like a minty color, like the cracked pistachio, and it had like a dark blue, like a chipped sapphire, and then my photo I want to use has all these tealy colors, more like peacock feathers and mermaid lagoon and broken china and all that. And so what I wanted to do was I wanted to create a base that included all of those colors, so that as I created my layout, I didn't have anything clashing. Everything worked seamlessly because all the colors were all over the layout. And so some of these stamps I stamped straight on and got clean, crisp images. And some of these stamps I then went ahead and kind of ghost stamped off to the side of it. So you had the crisp image and then kind of the shadowy image behind. So that's what I did. I just went through this whole, every stamp that I thought would be relevant to my photo, I stamped in all the colors all over the layout. And now I'm going to grab, again, every shade of blue or aqua in Shimmers sprays that I had. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to splatter them over this. So we have Cold as Ice, we have Mama Sings the Blues, we've got Oh Say Can You See, and Blue Jeans. And then at the end, just for a hit of something completely different, I grabbed some yellow, because there's some yellow in some of the products I was going to use, and I thought it would make a nice contrast to all the blues that are going on this background. So now I set that background aside to dry, and I'm going to go ahead and mat my photo. I'm going to double mat my photo. It's a 5x7, but I do have that really large doily, and I'm going to place the really large doily behind it. But I have the tealy blue in my photo. I want to get a matte of aqua and a matte of the really dark blue that's in the collection, so that they all work together really well, and that everything looks like it belongs on this page and goes together. So I'm just going to go ahead with my Fiskars trimmer, and I'm just kind of lining the edge of my photo up with one of the guides on the trimmer, and that gives me, I do that when I want just a really small border. It gives me a really nice small border around my photo. So I'm going to mat it with this little stripy kind of aqua-y colored paper as well. And then I'm going to, well, first I'm going to trim this. I don't know why I kept all this trimming in. Probably just because I'm silly. But anyway. So again, I'm just going ahead, putting the edge of the paper up to that part on the guide, and then trimming out my photo. And then it's going to go on my layout. I think it ends up just like that, but I kind of play with the idea of kind of maybe putting the doily more off to the side. But in the end, I kind of center everything up. So now my background is dry, and I'm going to go ahead and place the doily down. And you see, if you were kind of thinking to yourself, what is she doing with that background paper? Most of it is going to get covered up. So you're just going to get little hits of that color and the fact that there's some text behind the photo, but it's not going to be really, really in your face. It really just becomes something that you kind of just think of it as like a small pattern. But it really does do what I wanted it to do, which was to make sure that all those blues kind of played well together. So the next part of this layout is going to be a ton of fussy cutting, lots of fussy cutting. I'm going to go ahead and trim off these 3 journaling cards because I did end up using them in a Project Life process or a Project Life page that I did with this, just the tiny little leftover scraps. So I'm going to go ahead and trim out these little ruffly pieces, and then I'm going to fussy cut all the little ruffly pieces. And I'm going to kind of overlap them and place them up in that top corner as kind of a base for that tag to sit. And I will tell you right now that something is wrong with the time-space continuum in the world, because I don't put anything in that tag hole, which is unusual and odd. But it really just didn't fit, and it looked okay, so I left it go. But this is like the one time in my entire life, or my entire scrapping career, I don't know. I'm not big for the naked tags, but well, this one ended up without anything in it. So I'm going to grab these little puffy stickers, and I'm going to go ahead and place my title down and scooch them over and fidget with them and alternate them and squish them together and make them so that they are going to say what I want them to say and stay on the tag. Boom, done. Next up, we're going to fussy cut more. We're going to fussy cut and fussy cut and fussy cut and fussy cut. So you see beside me, that is an entire sheet of floral paper from my Felicity Jane kit. And I literally just cut around each flower and put them off to the side because I wanted to fussy cut them all and place them down. So for the next, I don't know, hour or so, I went ahead and I therapeutically cut and placed all these florals. And now I'm going to add these beautiful cork butterflies from the shop as just a little detail. I love how they popped off all these like colors. I thought that they were sweet and whimsical and just perfect for this layout and this photo. So I'm going to go ahead and place these little butterflies where I want them, and then I'm going to glue them down. And we're going to go and work with my sequins. So these are just cork confetti butterflies. You can find them in the shop. They'll be linked below. As will the tags and the doilies and as many of the spray colors as are still in stock in the shop. So if I can find them in the Spiegelmom scrap shop, they'll be linked below. This is the new Chasing Azul sequin mix. It was created to really match the Hazelwood collection, which I definitely will be using it with as well, but it also matched my niece's dress, that tealy color that I was trying to bring into the layout to kind of make everything play nice together and go so that her dress didn't look, odd and compared to the other ones. So I tucked in the big flower sequins in amongst my fussy cut flowers, and now I'm going around and I'm just picking out little splatters and covering them with one of there are these teeny tiny little flower sequins in this mix. So I'm just pulling those out and covering up strategic splatters throughout the layout. And then that's going to complete this layout. So I hope you have been enjoying my Fab Friday videos. Please subscribe to the Spiegelmom Scraps channel. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think, and if you have any good ideas for upcoming editions or episodes, that would be great. I hope you have a wonderful day and a great weekend. Bye.